Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week for week 15, we're going to be talking about 12 rounds. And with that being said, we're going to be talking about the sport of boxing, where it's two people facing each other like gladiators, right? Fighting. It's not a simple sport. You have to have the endurance to last through all these rounds. It could be 6, 8, 12 rounds, how many rounds it is. You got to last through all of it, all the adversities, everything leading up to the fight. And even at the weigh-in, if you ever seen like a fight, the preparation to it, it gets dicey because if you're fighting against somebody, right, and you do not want to lose, and you have to learn how to throw effective punches, and also you have to learn how to dodge, right, and know when to dodge and when not to dodge. Because if you dodge at the wrong time, you might get hit. After you go to your corner and you dap the gloves right before the fight starts, you go back to your corner. So you go to the center ring, you dap the gloves up, and then you go back to your corner. And you're sitting there, you're breathing, right? You're thinking about everything that's going on in your head weeks, months prior to years prior to the fight. And you're trying to listen to everything. You're trying to listen to your coach. Everybody in the arena is shouting, your mom and dad saying, "That's my boy," or "That's my girl," right? Then your gaze lifts up and you look towards your opponent. There's no longer, you're not friends, and it's not a friendly competition. You're seeing them as the enemy. The bell rings and you have 12 rounds. And if you get a chance, you might win by a knockout. That is life, day in and out. So I want to leave you with these 3 points of why the world does not want you to succeed. The first point is this: the world does not want you to be great. It does not care. The world, you might have people in your life that are in your corner, but then a lot of people, they don't want you to stand out. They don't want you to be a Christian, or be living the right way. They want to see the mistakes of hey, you did this, and then they'll justify why they are who they are, because they don't want the truth. And to be honest, we don't either, because we're flesh. But we have to discern that. We have to yearn after that, right? And we have to discern our decisions and our decision making and who we want to be and who we want the world to see through us. So you might be the best player on your team, a great leader, a good overall person. But with that being said, there's a word that I want to use. It's called haters. You're going to have some haters. You're going to have people who don't want you to be you. And a lot of them will envy you, right? They'll say hey, man, I want to be like you. But in their mind, they're hey, I want to be better than you. I want to be where you are. And they're looking at the ladder of hey, I want to climb over you. And when you have haters, you have someone who respects you. They respect what you're doing because they respect your hustle. They wouldn't hate you if you weren't doing what you were doing. If you're not succeeding, they would not hate you. If you're just being normal, mundane, melancholy, not really doing anything, they ain't gonna hate you. I wouldn't hate you because it's man, you're not really doing nothing. I'm not gonna aspire to be like you. And in the Bible, in the story of Esther, Haman was a straight up hater. He did not like the Jews at all. He wanted all of them to die. And that leads into my second point. And the world does not want you to succeed. Just like with Haman, he did not know who he was messing with, right? God was playing his own game, and Haman was setting himself up for failure. So Mordecai, like Daniel, Mordecai is Esther's cousin. So Mordecai, like Daniel and the Hebrew boys, he listened to the law, but also he knew God's law reigns supreme. So he did not want to kneel down or bow, because Haman was hey, bow down to me, and Haman's not even the king. So I don't know why he was tripping. He just had, I don't know, he was his ego, his pride level. He wanted to be in the first chair, but he was in the second chair. He was trying to use his power in the wrong way when he didn't have that jurisdiction. And I feel like Mordecai, he knew, he was man, you're not even in charge, so why am I listening to you? Even if you were in charge, I still wouldn't listen to you because you're not God. So Haman was mad at Mordecai. The bullet point under this second point is the world does not care what God called you to do. Like, Haman didn't care about Mordecai's background at all. So it's important for you to build those relationships with people who do want you to succeed, and you all be with each other. You're each other's anchors and support along the way. So you gotta lace up the gloves and keep swinging straight body shots. Like, don't be like this soft tapping. Straight body shots, head shots, off with the head shots, straight. Then my last point is this: the world does not want you to win in the rings in your life. With Haman, not only did he want to destroy the Jews, he wanted to kill Mordecai. But he had a whole plan sketched out, right? And what you need to do, you need to know about your opponent's weaknesses. What Haman meant for evil, God turned it for good. So with Haman, after this party, he was drunk, he was having a time in his life. Then he saw Mordecai. He was already beefing with dude, right? So he saw him, he was like, man, like, yo, I'm trying to kill you. So he set out this whole decree to the king, right? Like, and he set up this whole where he was gonna kill Mordecai. And of course he was drunk. And when you're under the impression of different things like drugs or liquor, like it messes with your judgment, right? And this is like pretty much everything that he probably already wanted to do prior to drinking, but it amplified it. And now his inhibitions are lowered, and he's like, hey man, I want to kill you, like the next day or whatever day it is. So after that, the king was throwing the party. King Hermes, he was throwing the party. No, exactly. Xerxes, my bad, I'm messing up. King Xerxes was throwing the party, right? And at that day, he learned something important. He found out that Esther was Mordecai's cousin. What? That's crazy. And Esther and Mordecai was fighting the whole time. And at that dinner, Esther was waiting. He was waiting for the right time, because Mordecai was saying, like, basically, like, you have to lead these people. Like, you're in the power. Don't forget us. Like, you have to do this. Don't be afraid. Like, God got you. We family still. Like, you know, and we got to ride this out. So Esther was the inside person. Then Mordecai was promoted to this top chair with the king. And that's why Haman was mad, because the king was like, hey, Haman was like, hey, I'm your homeboy, like, what is this? So with that, the dinner, Esther asked King Xerxes to spare the Jews, to spare all their lives, and she told him of Haman's plan and how, you know, he had that decree out for the king to do all these things to the Jews. And since the king had it written in paper, he couldn't override it. But he said, like, hey, like, for you guys can fight back. And that helped them with, like, you know, they was able to fight back and still be strong, right? And it was more of a fair battle. But what happened with Haman, the king was mad too. He was a party or two, and he found out, like, you know, his wife is a Jew, and it's like, man, like, so Haman, like, my wife's a Jew, and you trying to kill all these Jews? They ain't gonna fly by me. So Haman was impaled on the same pole she set up for Mordecai. That, I believe it was that night, because the king was like, hey, go kill him. And then after that, he was like, boom, boom, like, this party, like, what can we do? You know, how can we make this better? So the rounds in your life might be hard, but when you know the truth, man, you're gonna win. When you know who is in your corner, when you know who the coach is in your corner, you'll win by way of knockout. And in Mordecai's and Esther's case, it was more than a knockout. It was not even a technical knockout. Haman was dead. So remember, 12 rounds. Hey, put the lasers on your gloves. Annoy those who are shouting, like the haters in the stands, and focus on the voices of reason, the voices of truth from your loved ones, from those that are in your corner, from God, from the Holy Spirit. And also be that same coach, that same life for somebody in their own corners in their lives. So I hope you enjoyed this message. Man, it's a nice day today. Hey, I'm out on the beach. You know what I'm saying? I'm out at the beach in Jacksonville visiting family. So, hey, I just wanted to do this video because it's peaceful. You hear it behind me. It's peaceful. Just to recap, the world does not want you to be great. It does not want you to succeed, and it does not want you to win in the rings of your life. But with God, you can do anything, and anything is possible. So I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and God bless, and I love y'all. All right, peace.